What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Italian Mafia Saga, Book 1, Chapter 6. If you made it this far, then I thank you because that's telling me that I must have done a pretty good job coming out of my head. And remember times, remember everything, cram that shit, and kick plagiarism in the ass right out the door. Study to show yourself approved. Chapter 6 of Italian Mafia Saga, Book 1. August 9th, 2022. And Raymond Salters. Long. The SUV followed Christina's black 2008 H2 with extended front and rear axles on chrome 24s back to a red Mercedes Benz. The Hummer drove away and the bald guy drove all the way back to Haddington. Where the fuck's this kid going? Agent Tartani said as they both watched this guy punch in a code. And they knew they only had one chance at this. They were going in behind him. Headlights out on the chances this bald guy may speed in through the gates, giving the agents that second or two to follow behind him right inside Haddington without knowing the code, or this could fuck their case against Denise. The gates opened. The red Benz sped smoothly into the gate, and the feds went for it, speeding through the open gate with no lights on as the red tail lights quickly disappeared from view, leaving this SUV undetected by the new player in this dice game. The SUV followed the Benz all the way to 2716 Borthwick Avenue. Then the Benz pulled up outside the two-story home with a stone garden, palm trees, and shrubbery. The home was nice, but they would never believe what they were about to see. Well, that still doesn't mean Donovan likes me like that, Heather said to Ashley on her Samsung Galaxy S22. Heather was relaxing on her four-poster canopy bed in nothing but a tiny, wet, red Y-back G-string thong, twisting a lock of her hair around her finger. Still awake, and her mom was at work. Ashley called to talk about the new guy at school and other things that can be defined as girl talk. You drove off with him in your car after school. I watched you two walk the track in gym class, and you were nervous as a bug at lunch when he sat across from you. I was not. He can do better than me anyway, Heather said with all sincerity. Heather Marie Calson, so help me God, if you don't stop downing yourself like that, I'm going to reach through this phone and I'm going to slap the holy ever-loving shit out of you. Your ex was a dog shit loser who did nothing but abuse you. I'm sorry, Ashley, but sometimes it seems like you don't understand. Girl, I'm the closest thing to a sister you got. Heather saw a red laser dot on her wall and sat up, then looked to her front bedroom window. Hold on, Ash. Heather got up and darted to the window, moved the red satin curtain slightly to look outside. It was Donovan, parked down the street side with Britt's car. She hurried back to her phone. Ash, you'll never believe who's here, Heather said with both excitement and nervousness in her tone. Oh my God, girl, Donovan's outside? Ashley asked, shocked. And you weren't even going to tell me? I didn't know he was coming. I'll call you tomorrow. Don't hold out on me, girl. Tell me everything you let him do to you, Ashley said in a hurry. No. Bye. Donovan was leaned back against the driver's side door. He thought about everything that went down since he left the house, now yesterday. It's 12:43 a.m. He really thought hard on everything Cabrini told him about those two cops. Were they even still alive? They were the first to arrive on the scene of the accident. Donovan thought back to that Sunday 10 years ago, July 8th, 2012. Donovan's dad said they were going on a family trip to Washington for a few weeks. Little 6-year-old Donovan was happy about a trip, period. He didn't care where they went. His dad was his hero, an equivalent to Superman in his 6-year-old mind, and they would be together. There were only two things Antonio said were more important to him than all his mafia ties: his wife and kid. Denise knew it, and the entire family saw it. Donovan was at the family get-togethers, the weddings of the other mobsters he didn't know were mobsters with at least 1,000 guests he didn't know or remember the faces of at this age. But Antonio was a good stand-up, take-charge dad, and he had to protect his family. Donovan remembered they were going north on US 93 for only a few minutes. He watched his mom tell his dad a joke, which he'd completely forgotten. Doesn't even remember it. He watched his parents laugh like a love between them that could never be broken. Then they shared a short kiss. Karen's favorite song was on the radio. Angel by Aerosmith. It was the song Donovan's parents danced to for their first dance as a new husband and wife. Donovan wasn't born yet, but Karen told her son that one night as she tucked him into his bed, and he'd never forgotten it. Donovan remembered the moment the kiss was interrupted. Out of the windshield was a white and blue 2012 Mack CXU 613 semi-cab with no trailer hooked up. Donovan saw it before his parents, getting closer out the windshield. The lips of his mom and dad just met, and now they don't even see the truck coming at the Champagne 2012 Mercedes-Benz GLK Class Family SUV. And then it happened. At exactly 11:07 a.m., Donovan's mom and dad pulled apart after a half breath's worth of an I love you peck because Antonio saw something out of the corner of his left eye. Karen didn't even have time to scream. The big truck slammed face first right into the face of the Benz, then rode right up the hood, smashing the bodies of his parents under the crunched steel of their car like foam toy dolls. Then the truck flipped and turned twice, smashing the cab of the truck and instantly killing its driver. Donovan remembered hearing talking coming from outside as he remained pinned under the driver's seat, pressed against the floor behind it, unable to do anything but yell and cry for help. It took medical crews an hour to get the 6-year-old little boy out of the wreckage, but he remembered hearing the sirens before the fire rescue and ambulance arrived. 2 men had arrived on the scene. He never saw their faces, but he remembered hearing a man say that he was a Las Vegas Metro police officer over his radio. Then, as he thought, he remembered hearing brakes squeal as another vehicle stopped. There were 2 more men outside, some conversation. And then the 2 cops were told to leave. And that's all he remembered about that Sunday. His entire life changed. Donovan's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of a front door closing. And then out of the cast iron gate came Heather in some blue jean micro mini shorts that he could tell without her turning around that her butt would be hanging out the bottom of, and a wet red lace bra that could be seen through that tight black cotton tank top that molded to the shape of her torso. Her hair was all loose and all down. "Hi, Donovan," Heather said in an inviting tone, locked on those smoky gray eyes that stole her heart about a dozen hours ago. "Cosas ascendiendo, dollface." "Come here," Donovan replied in his normal bad boy tone, and Heather melted right into his welcoming arms for a good hug. "How'd Vegas go?" Heather asked. Heather let go and turned around to lean against Donovan, resting her hands on those massive forearms that had her body securely against him. She leaned her head back against his left shoulder and relaxed. This is what she wanted. "Did you get a job?" "Yes, but they said I'd start in 2 weeks. I don't know what the actual labor is going to be," Donovan answered, and she looked back at him. "That's weird. So you heading home anytime soon?" "I was just stopping by," Donovan replied. Heather quickly turned around in Donovan's arms and put her arms around his neck. "Ashley called me a few minutes before you got here, and she got excited when I told her you were out here." "What'd she say?" Donovan asked, curious. "Nope," Heather said, playfully putting the tip of her finger against Donovan's bottom lip, pushing his head back, then turning around. "I'm not telling." Girl talk. Heather just relaxed in Donovan's arms and closed her eyes. Part of her could not even begin to conceive a thought about the new guy at school being here with her. His arms locked around her waist, right now. Donovan pulled her hair off her right shoulder, opening his view to a delicious-looking neck, ripe and ready for the sexually charged bite of a hungry vampire. A soft moan escaped Heather's lips from the hot burning she felt from the very contact of the tip of Donovan's tongue, instantly followed by the scorching kiss of those lips. She dug her nails into the massive forearms that were once an embrace of acceptance and were now an embrace of what she hoped would be fiery hot passion. Donovan rolled the dice again and placed his hand smoothly on those meaty toned thighs of hers, then pressed into the warm flesh as he drug his fingertips up her thighs, breathing against Heather's neck with a powerful, electric kiss that was igniting a fire in her she'd never felt with a real man. Yet Donovan was her age. The kisses, the burning touches, the boiling hot chemistry between them both were those of an experienced lover. The likes of what she'd read about in a medieval sex novel when she was 14. It was her mom's book. Those soft, scorching fingertips that burned the nerves between her thighs on the way up now crossed the threshold of her shorts, leaving mental trails of fire across her flesh as he crossed those sculpted abs, pulling her shirt up. This was getting too good. Heather was getting too hot, too fast. Donovan took another deep, sexually thirsty, mentally bloody, mentally orgasmic bite of Heather's neck by a steaming hot kiss, making her quiver and clutch the back of his scalp with her right hand. Every kiss that followed around to her throat was nothing short of a deep, penetrating burn through the flip of his tongue. She felt his fingertips slip underneath the wire of her bra. This time it was a mental ice-cold touch that made her quiver again in his embrace. Heather's bra was up, slowly crossing her solid nipples, and her breasts were covered by a large set of hands that were unimaginably hot and unbelievably cold at the same time. She was beyond aroused. He had seemed to massage her breasts as he lifted them. This absolutely had to stop. Heather returned to her senses and broke free of Donovan's lips to breathe. "You're okay, I promise," Heather said, fixing her bra and shirt. "I just needed a little air. My bad, dollface. I guess I needed a little air too. My mom's on a flight to Mexico. Come on," Heather said and led Donovan inside. The living room in all its luxury and beauty hit Donovan right in the face as Heather led him inside. The beautiful spiral staircase to the second floor, the vast ocean of beige tiled floors and the pearl white furniture, an overhead second floor inner balcony, and all was no more than a breath's worth of time as he followed this beautiful young woman upstairs to the right and into her bedroom. Heather closed the door and looked at Donovan's massive back and frame. Was just what it was. Pull up his shirt. Donovan helped her pull off his shirt, and Heather was taken by the sight of the almost steroid sculpted abs. The chiseled chest now opened to her view as the shirt came over his head. He dropped it to the floor as she looked him over. Heather stepped back and began to pull up her tank top. She knew what she was doing, breaking one chain that kept her bound at a time. The shirt hit the floor, and Donovan knew it was his turn. He was also well aware that whatever was empowering Heather to break through the front lines of low self-esteem and live again was working. Donovan lost his shoes, his socks, his shorts. Heather noticed the knife at the same time he remembered he had it, and she calmly came toward him. Donovan watched her as she looked at him, then looked down at his knife and slowly pulled it from the black leather sheath tucked inside his shorts. The dim bedroom light gave the clear, unblemished steel blade a fiery, dangerous appearance as the reflection of light seemed to take her mind just that quickly. Donovan met Heather's eyes and caught the deepest, darkest, devilish smile a sexual fantasy could birth. She took at the tip of the blade and drugged the point slowly up the center trail of those abs, meeting his eyes, looking for a reaction from the sting of the point. He knew she was doing this on purpose, pressing the point into the flesh just to tease him as it moved up his body. Heather let go of the blade, releasing the knife into his hands, and stepped back a couple of breaths and slowly slipped off her bra straps. The clip was unfastened, and off it came, going straight to the floor. Heather is definitely an in shape 5'10 and a half, 17-year-old sophomore yoga student. Imagine the body of porn star Krista Allen with a nice set of 38Cs, deep dark red nipples, and a chiseled set of sexy abs with the face of Caroline from Vampire Diaries. Meet Heather Calson, the topless young woman that stood before Donovan trying to cover up in nervousness. She looked at Donovan as he slowly took her by the wrists. Do you think I'm ugly? Heather asked. What? No. You didn't have to do this. This wasn't my plan, Donovan said. I know, Heather replied. It was mine the moment I saw you. Heather began to unbuckle Donovan's belt, and she watched his eyes as she continued. The shorts came undone and were slowly shoved to the floor. Donovan removed his deep purple silk boxers, leaving all for Heather's eyes. Heather did the same with that sexy red thong, then cocked her head with a "your move, sucker" smile on her face. That was the hottest, most imaginable, fire sexy come fuck me if you dare smile he'd ever seen. Heather slowly moved past Donovan and crawled into her bed, then looked back at him with that same smile under the lips, until the lips were parted by the tip of her tongue. That was not Heather. Who had she become? What was this guy awakening in her? She was very nervous now. Donovan crawled into bed next to Heather in bed and snuggled up next to her, every warm part of him cozy against every part of her. She pulled his right arm around her and relaxed into him, this entire time only wanting to be held. You smell like alcohol, something serious, Donovan, Heather said, then turned to face him, naked and bare to him. Don't throw up in my bed or you're going home. Donovan laughed. Yes, ma'am. Heather was so convicted by something she did that she didn't even tell her best friend Ashley about. Heather went online and Googled Donovan's last name. She clicked on the first one, a guy named Antonio Bricks Lovato. Heather learned that this man was a Denisi crime family underboss to Max Denisi. He ran extortion rackets all through Manhattan, drug rackets, shylocking rackets, was acquitted of 4 separate murder cases. 3 of them were in 2008 alone. Witnesses, gone. 7 jury members, gone. Circuit court judges went on vacation at a golf resort in Greece on Bricks Lovato. One article Heather really read in its entirety was printed on July 12, 2008, and headlined, New York Mafia Underboss, 2-0 prize ring record against capital murder indictments. Heather continued to read. New York City Denisi crime family underboss Antonio Bricks Lovato, through high-power attorneys Marcoso Vendigano and Robert Crestalino, was acquitted of capital murder again. Speculations are rising about the sudden request by 7 jury members themselves to step down from their seats as jury members, being in fear for their lives. Jury members were escorted by armed police from their separate locations to and from court during the entire 8-month trial. The 7 that stepped down testified that they were awakened in the middle of the night to knocks on the door of the safe house. The 7 jury members also testified that they were asked to step down from the jury booth. All 7 denied strict allegations of $100,000 payoffs each by the Mafia for compliance that arose shortly after the acquittal of the Mafia underboss. Approximately 62 witnesses and even 12 masked confidential informants were present to testify via Zoom video communication against the underboss. After only 4.5 hours, the jury returned with the verdict of not guilty. I need to tell you something, Heather said only seconds later. I'm listening, Donovan said, all ears to her. I looked you up online. Why? Donovan asked, feeling betrayed. I was curious about you, Heather said, then pulled the sheets up to her neck in a comfortable fashion. But nothing came up about you. I read about this guy named Antonio Lovato. One article said that he was a Mafia underboss and was acquitted of 4 capital murders, and 3 were in 2008. Do you think he really lived that life? Donovan sighed. Yeah, My old man did it all. What? Heather replied, sitting up and looking straight at him. Are you fucking serious? He's your dad? Antonio Bricks Lovato is my dad. Heather nervously laid back down and pulled Donovan back against her to relax. This was both as insanely hot and mortally fucking dangerous. At least in her mind, it was. It doesn't change how I feel. And I'm still glad you're here, Heather replied, then laid back down. Still August 9th, 2022. A peaceful night's sleep was brought to an end by the Predator movie theme ringtone of Donovan's smartphone. The army tune from the 86 Schwarzenegger movie continued as Donovan reached down to the floor to get his phone. The screen said private number at 8:04 a.m. in the morning. Turn that off, Heather said in a groggy tone. Hello, Donovan said, answering on the third ring. Donovan Lovato, a male voice said in a small, almost Joe Pesci tone of voice. Yes, this is him. At 8:45, go inside the FedEx office on Paradise Road. Ask for Rhonda Sheffield. She knows a man is coming to pick up a package for Dino Calabrese. A brunette woman is going to bring you a mid-sized brown cardboard package. Get it and take it to room 3629 at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. A man named Dino Calabrese is going to give you a small, unopened white envelope. Make the exchange and leave. The call ended. Donovan stretched and began to get up, awakening Heather in the process. She groggily rolled over to see a nude Donovan begin to get dressed. You have to go? Heather asked, laying there. Yeah, and I need you to take me into Vegas. When? Now? Heather asked in a serious tone. Oh, come on! I gotta be somewhere, Donovan said, then noticed an unanswered text message on his phone. It was from Britt. He opened it. Hey, Dort. Next time I have to come get my car from your girlfriend's house because you can't bring it home on time, I'm going to bury you in the backyard and no one will ever find you. Britt. Yeah, we got to go. Britt came and got her car last night while we were asleep and says the text she sent me. Fine, I'm up, Heather said with anger, throwing the sheets off her. The trip to Vegas was an irritating ride for Heather because she was ripped out of her bed, nude with a really hot guy from school that unlocked doors in her heart she didn't even have her own set of keys to. To be at a FedEx store by 8:45 in the morning? I haven't had a latte yet, so forgive me for my attitude, but what the hell are we doing? Heather said, going at least 90, headed toward Vegas. I've got to go inside the store, get a package for some guy named Calabrese, and take it to him at the Planet Hollywood Hotel to room 3629. And what next? Heather said, glancing over at him. That's it. So you drugged me out of bed with you to be a mail lady. Are you serious right now? Heather said, then glanced over at Donovan again and laughed as her eyes returned to the road. She was not happy right now. I'm purposely ditching school to be with you, and we're delivering mail. The stereo system came on, and Heather turned on This One's For You by Young Jeezy and Trick Daddy. The bass pounded through the car as she passed traffic like a mad woman. Talking is out for the time being. Donovan watched the speedometer as Heather passed a nice Escalade SUV doing 120. She drove as if he wasn't even there. The Vegas Strip was now under the tires as Heather made her way to Paradise Road. Donovan looked at the time, 8:41 a.m. It was another 2 minutes and they'd turned into the lot outside the store. Donovan got out and went inside without even looking at this mad woman behind the wheel. Donovan walked inside and went straight to the counter where a Hispanic woman was working. She stopped to tend to the bald gentleman that just walked in. Hi, can I help you? The woman asked. I need to see Rhonda Sheffield, Donna replied, and the woman went to the back area. About a few breaths later, a 60-something looking woman with brunette hair and brown eyes came out to the counter with a brown cardboard package and approached the bald customer. Hi, Rhonda said. I'm here to pick up a package for Dino Calabrese, Donovan replied. This is it. Have a great day. Heather watched as Donovan returned to the car with a brown cardboard package the size of a basketball. She turned down the booming music as he got in. What is it? Heather asked. Don't know. but it's going to Dino Calabrese, whoever he is. What if there's money inside? Look and see. No, Dollface, I'm not doing that, Donovan replied, and they both shared a laugh. Heather backed out and flashed Donovan an I forgive you smile as she headed toward the Planet Hollywood Hotel. Dino Calabrese was in his luxurious suite at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. He'd been declared dead. He'd been reported missing. But he was a traitor to the boss of the Denisi organized crime family and the prime minister of the Mafia. He has been in hiding for 22 years, but there were those who knew where Calabrese was and that he is still very much alive. Yeah, that file should be on its way now, Calabrese said. He was on a call with an FBI agent by the name of Martino Demores. Demores is an FBI agent with his hand in the cookie jar. The guy is a crooked scumbag, dirty as they come. This better lead to Lovato's fortune. You owes me a 30% cut or the deal's off, Calabrese. You're the only one who knows I'm still alive. I gave you everything I knew on Denisi and Lovato. Take it easy. August 9th, 2022. The Planet Hollywood Hotel on Las Vegas Boulevard towered above the Strip with the Cosmo across the street and the Bellagio, Paris, and Bally's to the north. Heather followed a taxicab around to the back of the hotel where the entrance and the valet parking is. She knew she was wrong for pulling in the taxicab line. She was not staying here, so she didn't need a valet, and the $8 parking garage was not happening either. A taxicab blew its horn at Heather, and she flipped the driver off as the cab went slowly by and left the property. Heather, we can't park here, Donovan said, and she looked at him with eyes full of, I don't give a fuck right now. He opened the door and closed it without a word from Heather. Donovan made his way inside the luxurious hotel with the package in hand and made his way to an elevator to go up to Dino Calabrese's room. The ride up was lone, quiet, and mysterious. The package was about the size of a basketball. Wonder what it is. The elevator opened and Donovan had made his way to room 3629. He stood outside the door, took one more look, then knocked on the door. A few seconds passed and then the door unlatched and opened. A man, probably in his mid-60s, peeped his head out, looked both ways, then looked at this large, bald kid with a cardboard package. There was no exchange of words. The man handed Donovan a sealed white envelope. He took the package, and that was it. Donovan was gone 15 minutes by the clock in Heather's car. Then she saw Donovan coming back with a small white envelope in his left hand. He got in the car with 5 cabs in line behind Heather's car. What's that? Heather asked. I don't. The FBI agents were glued to the bald guy they tailed all the way from Vegas last night. A teenage girl in tiny jean shorts and a white tank top came outside a cast iron gate to the bald guy. These 2 agents could see clearly from 30 yards away. Tartani had the binoculars. This guy knows this girl. A hug like that, Tartani said, and then the bald guy casually looked in the opposite direction and then in the direction of the agents, not even seeing a thing. Son of a bitch! I know who our man is, Tartani said, lowering the binoculars hurriedly. Who is it? Salters asked, taking the binoculars from his partner. It's Lovato. No, Lovato's dead, Salters asked, and then saw the guy's face for himself. It's Lovato's son, Donovan. What the fuck's going on? Here's another question. Who's the girl? Who's she working for? Tartani asked as he watched these 2 together in the driveway until they went inside and all of the lights went out. Agent Tartani and Salters spent the entire night watching the house they knew that Donovan Lovato was inside of. Apparently he's with a girlfriend or a job being prepared under the appearance of a teenage one-night stand. And now here they were on August 8, 2022, outside the Planet Hollywood Hotel. August 9th, 2022, outside the Planet Hollywood Hotel. The blonde girl that Lovato stayed the night with is illegally parked in the taxicab line. They watched the Shelby Mustang GT500 Super Snake leave the home. Pause. I got to plug in the cord. My battery's going low. and they tailed it with Lovato in the passenger seat to a FedEx store on Paradise Road. At exactly 8:42, 23 seconds passed in the AM. The Mustang pulled in and parked. And at exactly 8:43, with 12 seconds passed, Lovato goes in the door. At 8:44, with 46 seconds passed, Lovato exits the store with a volleyball-sized package and gets back in the Mustang. Tartani tailed the Mustang all the way to the Planet Hollywood Hotel and followed the car to the entrance where it pulled into the taxi line illegally. And at exactly 9:17 and 12 seconds passed in the AM, Lovato gets out and goes inside the hotel with the package alone. At 9:28 and with 58 seconds passed, Lovato was seen coming back to the Mustang in possession of what appeared to be a small white envelope. At 9:30, with 5 seconds past, the passenger door closes with Lovato and the girl inside. And the feds were watching all of this. The mid-morning day was disrupted by a loud explosion that blew a hole through the side of the hotel room above the entrance. "What the fuck?" Tartani said as people ran for their lives. "That was for Dino Calabresi, and we just got all the fucking footage of Lovato's fucking son doing it." "I'll bet Denise ordered that hit. Calabresi's been staying there for 5 weeks now. Before that, he was in Oahu for 8 years," Salters replied. Heather heard it at the same time the pedestrians around them did. It sounded like a pack of C4 explosives as she sped past scared people running around her. "Oh my God," Heather said in a raised voice as she turned onto the strip. "Oh my God." Donovan had just been duped into delivering a bomb to an Italian named Dino Calabresi. He had just committed murder in broad daylight, and now Heather is an accessory to his first murder. "Oh my God. No fucking way that just happened," Heather yelled in anger, going 78 miles per hour north on Las Vegas Boulevard. "Is that what was in that package? You brought a bomb in my car? Are you fucking serious, Donovan?" "I didn't know what it was," Donovan said in a raised tone. "That's not the point, Donovan. You brought a bomb in my fucking car. You just committed murder," Heather yelled in tears as she made a U-turn onto the southbound lane of Las Vegas Boulevard. "And you just made me an accessory to murder. Who the fuck do you think you are, huh? Matter of fact." Donovan watched Heather slam on the brakes right there in the right lane of South Las Vegas Boulevard. "Get the fuck out of my car," Heather yelled, red-faced and fire-angry in tears. There were no words to be said. Donovan got out, his eyes locked on Heather's eyes the entire time. He shut the door and the tires screeched and scarred Las Vegas Boulevard as Heather left him right there in the street. Donovan opened the envelope and was startled by the horn of a '68 Camaro Z28, then moved out of the street, not once lifting his eyes from the envelope as he tore it open. Inside was a card with a number on it, and what appeared to be an equal division of crisp 50s and 100s, and a safe deposit box key on a ring. He doesn't have time to stand there and count it, but this key, the phone rang twice. "Donovan Lovato? Man, it's going to be a real figlia di putana when some folks find out you're alive. Listen carefully, and you better move fast. There's 2 FBI agents on your culo at 11 o'clock. Don't fucking turn around. Walk as I talk to you, and don't you dare hang up." Donovan headed north on Las Vegas Boulevard, keeping his phone at his ear. "There's a New York cab coming at you right now," the man said. Donovan spotted the cab and made his move. FBI agents Tartani and Salters were on foot, exactly 50 feet behind Lovato as he crossed the street, headed toward a New York cab. The cab stopped. Lovato got in, on a phone call the entire time. "Shit," Salters said, and then turned heels back to the SUV with his older partner behind him, running. Lovato never once looked back for the 2 FBI agents as he rushed to this place of refuge. "The cab's going to take you out to the Wells Fargo Bank on West Sahara. Go inside and the cab's going to wait. Go to the office of Wendy Michioni. She knows you're coming. Go to the safe deposit box 142. Follow the directions and be careful." The call ended. Yes, just like that. Donovan rested as the cab turned to left, then eventually made a right and headed straight for about 7 or 8 solid minutes. Then made another left, and there they were. Wells Fargo on Sahara. Donovan got out and went inside. The scene looked normal as he looked around and met eyes with a woman in a champagne colored blouse for a heartbeat, then looked around before calmly heading in her direction. The woman calmly arose from her seat and met Donovan at the door. Don't come in here. Let's just get this over with, the woman said, then passed by Donovan, leading him to the safe deposit boxes. I don't even know you, Donovan replied, and the woman turned around. And it's going to stay that way. I know who you are, and that's why I don't want to do this. Come on. Donovan followed the woman until she took him right on in there. He saw hundreds of box containers with life in every one of them. Just get what you need and get out of my life, the woman said. Box 142, Donovan said, and the woman pointed to it. Right here, the woman said. Donovan opened the container with the key, pulled out the box itself, and opened it. Inside are 4 stacks of $10,000 apiece, 2 keys, 1 brass, and 1 silver. And instructions written and signed by his dad, which he didn't have time to read. Donovan got back into the cab and it took him all the way to his home on Bobby Basin Boulevard. How the fuck did this cab driver know where I live? Donovan thought to himself, yet completely silent. Britt heard the front door open and close. It was Donovan. Mom's out of the picture for a little while. She hurried downstairs to find him pacing back and forth in anger. What the fuck's wrong with you? Britt asked, worried. Donovan looked up at her with 16-year-old tears running down his angry face. Okay, stop, Britt said, approaching him. You need to tell me something. I just killed someone, Donovan said, and Britt grabbed him by the left arm and turned him around. Excuse me? I just killed someone and I made Heather an accomplice to murder, Donovan said in an angry tone. Britt covered her mouth with both hands after that. Donovan walked out into the living room and stopped. She followed. Who'd you kill? I got a phone call after being at Heather's all night. Did you get my text, by the way? Britt said, being a smart ass at the wrong time. And I was told to go to the FedEx on Paradise. Heather drove me there and I left with a brown cardboard package for a guy named Dino Calabrese. Heather drove me to the Planet Hollywood Hotel and I went inside with the package while she stayed in the car. I went to room 3629 and made an exchange. The package for all this. Donovan pulled out all the money he had on him. He laid the $40,000 in the envelope he got from Calabrese before he was blown to pieces in his hotel room this morning on the couch right there in front of Britt. Oh my God, Britt said, looking at all the money. All this. Don't pay this any mind. All this over here, Donovan said, picking up the 40 grand and cash in the envelope of money and holding it up. This right here is what this morning and what the fuck I did got me. Donovan, what the fuck did you do? That guy I delivered that box to? I blew up his fucking hotel room this morning, Britt, Donovan said to her in a raised tone. That Planet Hollywood bombing? You just did that? Britt asked in shock of the truth Donovan was telling. Donovan, the FBI is going to put you under the jail. Do you realize the seriousness of what you just did? No, I don't. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Donovan took a seat on the couch and Britt joined him. Look, you were just duped into committing a Mafia-style murder and you got all this money. Was that a payoff? Is that what you've been going to Vegas in my car for? A job? And you did this right in front of Heather? Britt got up and paced the room for a second, then watched Donovan leave the room and head toward his room. She followed. Donovan put all the money he had on the dresser and opened the instructions. An old, yellow, flaky, faded color piece of notebook paper. What are you doing? Britt asked. It's not what I'm doing. It's what you're doing. You're driving me back home. You're not going back to that boy's ranch, Britt said, putting her foot down. Nope. My dad's house, Donovan said. KTNV Channel 13 Action News anchor Nicole Brisby was getting set up for a live report about an explosion at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. This woman is a fearless reporter. Can we go live, please? We're losing good time, Nicole said, waiting for her cameraman to set up the equipment. The rumors of a possible Mafia-style murder committed this morning had every news van in Vegas out here on the scene. But she wasn't Vegas' top news anchor for nothing. Okay, you're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. The cameraman said, then pointed to Nicole. This is Nicole Brisby with KTNV Channel 13 Action News. And as many of you already know, our morning was interrupted today by a visit from death itself. If you look behind me right there, you can see about a 20-foot radio hole blown in the side of a room at the Planet Hollywood Hotel by what the Las Vegas Metro Police and the Las Vegas Fire Department have confirmed was in fact an explosive of some kind. The occupant of the room, who the police have not yet released the identity of for unanswerable reasons, but the authorities are not ruling out the possibility of murder as of yet. Once again, this morning, an unidentified white male was killed in his hotel room by an apparent explosive, leaving authorities as well as Vegas residents wondering what really went down this morning. I'll have more for you as it becomes available to me. Live on Las Vegas Boulevard outside the Planet Hollywood Hotel. This is Nicole Brisby, KTNV 13 Action News. And we're clear, the cameraman said. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening and supporting me. I'm out.